And this is the latest at this hour. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee says he had a harrowing night seeking shelter 5 times due to Iran's missile attacks. This is the latest we are getting from Israel. As Shabbat, the Jewish day of rest, begins, Mike noted the entire nation is under orders to stay near shelters, suggesting the conflict will not subside anytime soon. This is a statement or a post from U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, who says he had a harrowing night seeking shelter 5 times due to Iran's missile attacks. As Shabbat, the Jewish day of rest, begins, Mike noted the entire nation is under orders to stay near shelters, suggesting the conflict will not subside anytime soon. I still have with me Dr. Avner Cohen, who is a professor at the Middlebury Institute and also an analyst on West Asia. Dr. Cohen, thank you very much for staying with us. West Asia remains on the edge. Global markets are wary. What do you predict the situation will look like in the next coming week?
I think the uncertainty would continue. I think that Israel would continue to hit Iran. The question is to what degree the United States would get involved, reluctantly or less so, to what extent Iran would make probably an error from its perspective and would hit American targets either by itself or by its proxies, and what would be the impact of those Israeli bombing. Israel was very accurate and had excellent tactical intelligence to hit some of the leadership, nuclear leadership and military leadership in Iran. To hit and to damage profoundly, to damage in a very significant way, to take out of commission those facilities, it would be very, very difficult. It is not even clear whether it makes sense at this point, because at this point, Iran already has some 275 kilogram of essentially high enriched uranium at the level of 60%. At the level of 60% to move to the weapons levels, 90%, is something that can be done very, very fast. And that's most likely it's being hidden somewhere in huge Iran. Iran is a vast country. So again, we do not have a clear sense of the impact of all that, even though the kinetics is quite spectacular on both sides. Israel itself, for the first time, is seeing the devastation of war, something that he's not seen in all the clashes with the Hamas or even with Iran the previous cycles.
Dr. Cohen, there are some critics who say or argue that this is a diversion tactic by Israel. What do you say?
Well, I would say that there is a nagging issue over the leadership of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu is a leader that much of the Israeli public, to some polls, 60, 70 degrees, do not have full confidence in him for what happened to Israel on October 7th. Prime Minister Netanyahu is the one who pushed President Trump in his first term to take out of the Iran deal. The Iran deal was not perfect, but it gave a certain kind of sense of somewhat safety, and somewhat it was good as opposed to the best. Iran was with no serious safeguard regime for quite a while. So some people say that it's Prime Minister Netanyahu, with the questioning of what happened after October 7th, that is trying right now to clear his own legacy and takes Israel for that kind of war. It was very tempting. I mean, you mentioned that the Israeli war was planned for months. I was correcting for years, in fact, for tens of years. It's a war that was started to be planned some 20, 25 years ago, and it was elaborated. Millions, tens of millions of dollars in intelligence and collection was invested into the first Slavo, the first day or so, in terms of assets, in terms of how to do all that. It was very tempting to take that kind of plan and to start executing it. And some people question whether Prime Minister Netanyahu is the right man, whether he has the moral and political mandate to do so. So that's in response to your question.
Dr. Cohen, This is just news that we are receiving in our newsroom right now, and we do understand that Jordan has reopened airspace at 7:30 local time, and this is according to the Aviation Commission. How are the regions or the states or the countries that border these two countries supposed to behave in the coming future? Because missiles do fly over their spaces or over their land, including Jordan, which is in a very precarious situation. So how should they act in the coming days or even weeks?
I'm a little surprised by what you just told your audience. That's a surprise to me. You're right. Missiles are being, and the Israeli Air Force movement, which is largely via Syria, but nevertheless, it's not too far. So the fact that Jordan decided to open its sky, it's possibly that you get some kind of commitment from Israel. It's possible in a quiet fashion. In return, possibly that Jordan will be part of the defense shield against Iranians. As you know, there is some American presence in Jordan territory. So it's intriguing, and I don't have an answer to that. There was some photo satellites and applications of the flight movement in the areas, and essentially the whole corridor from Iran via Iraq and Jordan and Israel was completely clear. It was all over from the north, even through Turkey, and the south from the Gulf states, that there was huge traffic of aircrafts. But the big space from Saudi Arabia north to essentially up to Syria was completely open. So the Jordanian announcement is an intriguing one, and we may not know the entire story.
We may not know the entire story. Indeed, this is just information that is coming into our newsroom at this hour. This is a continuing coverage on WION World as One. I've been speaking to Dr. Avner Cohen. Dr. Cohen, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you.
Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is calling on Iranians to unite against what he describes as an evil and oppressive regime. He's telling them Israel is engaged in one of the greatest military operations in history. This is a continuous coverage on WION World as One.